So what else can I tell you about twin flame? There's just so much to tell. Um, you know, okay, so I started chatting with my twin flame 7 years ago when he came back into my life, and the relationship that I was in with my ex, my now ex, at the time, our relationship was up and down and all over the place, and sometimes it was fantastic and sometimes it was horrible, and it was just there were lessons for me to learn there too. And anyway, so you could say he was a karmic. My ex, I think he started out as a soulmate, but because I'd not addressed any of my own lessons, he became a karmic, because a karmic is basically someone you're repeating your lessons, and sometimes they have to get more and more dramatic, I believe, for you to take notice of them. So I was living with a soulmate who became a karmic and I needed my twin flame to trigger me to probably learn my lessons and stand up for myself and choose myself and realize I am worthy, and that I don't need to be treated poorly, and that I don't need to allow that kind of behavior that I feel is wrong and not a good way to be. I certainly wasn't perfect in there, as far as I allowed it, but we're all on our own journey, so I don't want to blame him for anything. He is really a very nice person, maybe not to me anymore, but he is the father of my daughter, and I know that he has a really good heart in there, and I hope that one day he can find himself again and follow his journey and learn his lessons. People's lessons are usually more evident to ourselves, or to someone else, I should say, so I can see other people's lessons really easily, but I don't necessarily see my own, and I'm pretty sure that we generally can all, it's like picking faults on someone else. We can pick them on someone else, but we never see them in ourselves, and usually the things we don't like in other people are what we don't like in ourselves, so they say. So think about that next time you don't like someone. Have a really good conscious thought about, do you do that? And why don't you like that? And what is it about it that triggers you? So the twin flame journey is basically you triggering your twin flame, and your twin flame triggering you. And that's the funny thing, because I remember that he used to say to me in email that I would trigger him, and I would just think, what? And I didn't realize that he was triggering me in certain ways as well. But because I didn't actually really love myself, I just overlooked so many of the things that probably were him triggering me. I just accepted them, or I just overlooked them, probably more so, because they still frustrated me a lot of the time. But I tended to overlook them just because I knew I loved him so much. And when I say I loved him, it's hard to explain, because it's like you love your animal, your dog. You just love your dog. It doesn't mean you have to go, you don't want to go and do anything. You just want to pat them. You just want to love them. You just want them to be there. You accept them. They spew on your carpet sometimes, and you clean it up, and you still love them regardless. And I suppose that's to me, that's what love is. Love is unconditional, and most of the time I don't think that we actually truly love people, or we just, because we have so many conditions and attachments that we put on to love, and then we blame those things, we blame love for those things. But the thing is that it's all our own issues and our own attachments that are causing the problem, not love. Love is just love, and it's beautiful, and it's an energy, and it's feelings and emotions, and there is nothing negative. It's just nothing negative about love. It is pure. But we put all these attachments, like I said. So with my twin flame, I knew that I loved him, but there were just parts of him that just drove me bonkers, basically. And I could never really understand. But I think that I drove him bonkers more. I don't know why. I think that I probably overlooked things so much more that I just basically drove him more bonkers. Anyway, it is what it is. For where we are, or for where I am anyway, I am just, really, really grateful for everything that I've gone through. The heartbreak this year, oh my God. If he had been here, I probably would have kicked him in somewhere or other. I probably would have wanted to punch him in the face. I don't really punch people, but honestly, he made me so angry. I know I wouldn't have punched him, but I probably would have just, the thought of doing those kicking back then, oh my God, I definitely would have. He made me want to pull my own hair out. But from it all, I realized that why on earth was I allowing someone that I loved to treat me so terribly and say such horrible, hurtful things to me? I didn't understand it at all. I still don't completely understand it, but I've got my own theories and stuff. And in the end, where I am now, it's, a few months on, and I'm over it. I don't want to hold on to the resentment. I can see I've gone through that fire, come out the other side, and it took me to a whole new place, and it took me a long time to get over some of the resentment. And even this morning I was writing, and I knew that I still had some resentment. Just the fact that, sometimes you think of things, or you when you remember things, you go back into the memory and you can feel it again, and it can be really, really hurtful, and cause a lot of pain to you. Well, that tells me that maybe I'm still holding on to some stuff, and I'm probably scared to ever talk to him again. I say I don't need him in my life, but I'm probably a little bit scared to talk to him because I'm scared about the energy that might bring up in me. I just want to forgive and move on. I don't really want to discuss stuff and possibly be annoyed. Is that avoiding? Probably. But I don't see how it's healthy. I'd much prefer to just send him love, wish him well, hope, that he can pull through, get through it, and that then maybe on the other side he will, be gifted a beautiful person that is just going to make his life so harmonious and happy, and and even have some nice thoughts of me in there, but not central. I don't need to be in his mind, just as he doesn't need to be in mine. I will always love him. I know that in the in-between life that I believe in, before reincarnation happens again, if it's meant to happen again, I believe that him and I as energies, not as me, and him not as him, just as the energies, everything, our lessons are learned, hopefully, and we will be particles of time together. Our energies will entwine as they are meant to, and we'll forgive, because to me, in the between life, everything is forgiven, because everything is about lessons. In the physical life, we hold grudges, we don't forgive easily, we don't tend to keep love in our heart, and we don't understand love, for starters. So golly, there's just so much to it. But that's the thing. I just think that in the in-between, everything will be okay. And for here and now, maybe I'm just not ready yet, I don't know. So let me go and find some more to tell you about with Twin Flame. One sec.